Hello and welcome to round 11 of the PS4 America series on Race Spec TV. Looking forward to this race today. It's been a great series so far. We're at the halfway mark of the season, so hopefully we're in for some good racing today. We've got 15 drivers on the grid and so a couple of new guys as well. We're looking at Vesselani at the moment, but our new drivers are The Street and GG Gaming King. We'll just call him Gaming King, I think. And then Alpu Mutt. We might just call him Alpu for short. So we'll simplify a couple of those names. I'm also joined in commentary today by F1 Amazing Hour, our PS4 Pacific Series current leader and Elite Series as well. How you going there? Amazing. Yeah, very well, thank you. So making your commentary debut today, so that's pretty exciting. So hopefully we can do this more regularly, which would be good. But yeah, we're 14 and a half minutes left in qualifying now, and we've just seeing some times being put up on the board. We'll get some telemetry up so we can see what tyres everyone's on. It's like we're following Alpha Monk at the moment on his lap in the Toro Rosso. I just called him Alpha Monk. It's Alpu Mutt, but we'll just. Alright, it's just coming around the final corner now. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he's just starting a lap now, sorry. So I thought he was on a lap, but we might as well stick with him. Go down into turn 2, all the way down into second gear there. Up to the long straight, he'll get a nice tow from the car in front. I think he's on an out lap. Hopefully they get out of the way. As Sonal puts in the fastest lap so far with a 1:13 flat. It's pretty neat and tidy so far from Alpu. As GG Gaming goes 1:13 flat, so that's very tight at the top as well. A lot of guys are opting for the soft tyres in qualifying. The optimal strategy is, of course, as we know, medium to hard tyres. One stop. It's very difficult to do a one stop starting on the soft tyres, but we'll see what Alpu does. He does a 1:12.1 and he goes nearly a second clear at the top. Very nice indeed from Alpu. So we'll try and pick up another driver on a lap at the moment. Here we got another new driver, The Street. We'll see what he can do. Around the final couple of corners now. Also running on the soft tyres, and he goes 8th fastest, 1:14.2. A bit of a marker there for him. He'll be looking probably to go a bit faster than that on his next run. So who else has yet to set a time? We've got Foursquare. Looks like he's backed out of his lap. Mick is absolutely going for it on medium tyres here. We'll pick him up going into the final sector. All the way into third gear down there. He's out of ERS, sorry. Goes 5th fastest with a 1:13.2 on medium tyre, so quite a good lap from him, as looks like we have some technical issues with The Street leaving the session. Unfortunately, as a spectator, we can't invite him back, so we might just have to ask someone to do that for us. Yeah, have you spotted anyone on a lap at the moment? Amazing. Mick's just coming into the pits. Sterling's still out there on hard tyres. There's quite a few guys now leaving the pit. So you've got Yabio and JFD's coming out on medium tyres. Vessalini as well. Yeah, that's true. Who was it that left the street? Whoa, he's spun. Yes. Let's see the number 19 Ferrari there. On the he's reversed too far onto the gravel as well. So you don't want to don't want to be parking there for too long though. You'll probably get disqualified. So we might try and pick up someone about to start a lap. We'll see. I think we got a bit of a queue forming now in the last sector. So Perry the dog's about to go on a lap. We might follow him. He's quite one of the quickest drivers in the series. So we'll see how he goes. Here we go. It's always funny, I never think this, even on qualifying laps, the Honda engines don't sound like they're going very fast. So, whereas the other ones you can really tell when you're pushing, someone's pushing, like they rev a bit higher. This engine's kind of really low key. So, as Vessalini goes off the track right in front of Perry the dog, he hit the wall, I think. So, lucky enough to catch that incident on board with Perry. He's coming into the final sector now. Yeah, actually does have a car right behind him. I think it's Chucky. Oh no, sorry, it's Hypertoaster. So Hypertoaster getting a whole chunk of dirty air from the back of Perry the dog's car. So he didn't time his run too well, and Perry goes fastest, and Hypertoaster's second fastest. So what didn't affect them too much in the end. 1:11.6 is the time, and 1:11.8 for Hypertoaster. So good laps from those lads. I'm from Paris. Is just about to finish his second lap as well. So what do you make of all these guys going on soft tyres? Oh, sorry, he's about to start a lap. Does that mean they'll be nailed on for a two-stop here today? Or maybe there's some weather. Maybe there's some weather in the race we don't know about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would agree with that. I reckon it's maybe a damp start to the race. So it's looking like a lot of guys would be. That's why they're going for the soft option tyre. I think the telling factor might be to see what Sterling does. If he opts to go on the softs before the end of qualifying, that would really let us know that there's something happening in the race at the start. So, all right. So we're following Mick at the moment. He set his first lap on medium compound tyres, so this is his first run on soft. Looking pretty quick so far as he heads into the final sector, the stadium section. You kind of missed the apex there in that fast right-hander. He's kind of missed apex again in that left-hander. It won't slow down too much. It is a bank turn through the last couple of corners now. DRS open. Oh, he only improves by one position, by 0.4 of a second, so he's moved up from 8th to 7th with a 1:12.7, so He's got time for one more run. We'll see who else might be on a lap. I'm from Paris is also on a lap. He's got no ERS left, unfortunately. See how he gets on though. He improves by 1/10, but stays P10, yeah. Alright, so Chucky's not on a lap. He's backed out. Vesselini, I'm not too sure. Sterling's on a lap on the medium, so we'll follow him around. We'll see how he gets on this lap. So, to me, going this early on a set of mediums indicates that he might want to get onto the softs for his final run. What do you think about that? Yeah, yep. Oh, he's backed out. Okay, so he mustn't have been up on his time. And he does cross the line now. He sets a 1:18.7, so that is his first timed lap. Oh, sorry, no, that was slightly faster than his hard time, which was 1:20, I think. But he's obviously just getting in some siders, and not setting that time on the mediums does indicate to me that he will be going on to the soft tyres for a final run. So I reckon that we're in for a wet start to the race here. It's Vesselini. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're just following Hypertoast there, but I think he just invalidated that lap by cutting that corner. Well, looks like, yeah, he's backed out of it, running low, no ERS, so he'll dive into the pits and hopefully get another lap in before the end. Yeah, very fast. Okay, so he might be fueled up for another go. We're following our new driver in the Mercedes, Gaming King, at the moment. He's just coming through the final couple of corners. Oh, he runs very wide, and that's probably going to mean his lap is invalidated. He does cross the line. He goes slower than his last run anyway, so he stays 6th fastest. I'm not sure he has the ERS to run another full hot lap, but we'll see what he does here. It's probably about the time now that guys will be coming out of the pits to get around and do their final lap. And Perry the dog is not coming out again. Oh no, he is just coming out. He's leaving it quite late, but I think that's probably just about as late as you want to leave it. So he'll make it. Yes. I'm from Paris is out there on the medium tyres though, so that's interesting. He's the only one. Oh, and he spun! Oh, and that's his lap over, so hopefully he retires there, and no one really coming, so anyway, we'll try and pick up someone on their lap. Maybe Sterling's still warming the tyres. I think Perry just overtook them all. And Alpu has retired from the session. I think he was having Oh yeah, you can see his car off the track there. There's a Renault on a hot lap, I think, but he's running in 0 ARS, so it's all a bit confusing. Foursquare, what's he up to? Yeah, he's on the end of a lap. He's backed out, so he's not on a lap. JFD, what's he doing? Just started his lap, so we'll keep an eye on some of these guys starting their laps. Mick just finished the lap. He goes 6/10 faster and moves him up into P5, so pretty good lap from him. JFD, Chucky, he's on a lap. I'm from Paris, he's on those mediums, but he's crashed, as we know. Alright, let's just pick up Sterling on his lap. See if this is going to be the pole position time. Nice short shifting on the exit of the hairpin there for max traction. Down into the Mercedes grandstand corner. Oh, he's run. Whoever it was ran straight off into the barrier. It was Perry, so he did give way to Sterling, which is nice. Oh no! And Sterling's made a mistake. He's grabbed the inside curb and he's spun into JFD, and he gets a 5-place grid penalty. Wow. Okay, so that was pretty unfortunate, especially for the penalty, because JFD was trying to stay out of the way of Sterling, and maybe that just put Sterling off enough to grab the inside of the barrier. But that's yet another qualifying that hasn't gone Sterling West's way. He's always having some bad luck or something happen in qualifying, and he shows off some donuts. But I think that's qualifying done. Vesselini's into the pits and Sterling's now retired, and everyone else has finished their laps, so that's going to be it. Perry the dog gets pole position by 2/100ths of a second from our new driver Alpu, so that's very tight at the top. Wow, very action-packed session there at the end. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm keen to see whether there is the sweat start to the race that we think it is. So there we can see that is the qualifying order. Sterling will start from the back with a 5-place grid penalty, so he'll be going from doing the last to first challenge if he can. So Perry the dog takes pole with a 1:11.6, closely followed by Alpu. 2/100ths of a second back, extremely tight there. Hypertoaster on the second row with Foursquare. Then we have Mick Morcat, Sonal, JP Canton, JFD, another new driver, Gaming King, and Chucky is your top 10. And then have Paris, Yabio, The Street, Vesselini, and Sterling at the back, as we know. So on to the race we go. Oh, and there it is. There's the weather. That's what we thought was going to happen. We do. Well, this is going to be very interesting. Turn one or first couple of corners, maybe even turn two will be more interesting by the time they get down there. They'll need to brake pretty early to allow the cars, if they're following cars in front, to brake as well. So hopefully we don't get too many DNFs in the first couple of corners and everyone gets through. It's always the danger, especially with a nice big grid like this. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. And to confirm, as you can probably see on the stream now, if you're watching, it is full wet conditions, not just intermediate. So the drivers are all on the full wet tyres, the blue sidewall tyres. So it must be very wet conditions out there. We're not sure what the forecast is, whether it's a going to be a full wet race, or it's going to dry up into intermediate conditions, or maybe in full dry conditions. We'll just have to wait and see. It's life's a lottery sometimes, and that's certainly what we got today. Only the drivers will know, really, because they get a little bit of a forecast in their race strategy before the race, so we don't know what's going to happen, and that's kind of the way we like it, to be honest. Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed. Like I said, those first couple of corners are going to be absolutely crucial to keep your nose clean and get through those without taking damage. It doesn't really matter if you lose positions. I think everyone just will want to get through the first couple of corners cleanly. At least that's how I think of it when I race in full wet. So the driver's just lining back up now on the grid, as you can see there. And now we've got the lights up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go in Germany. Perry the dog gets a great start. He's held his position as they come through the first corner. Oh, looks like there's a bit of contact between the Williams and the Mercedes, and the Williams is around. There's only one casualty from turn 1. Hopefully he doesn't have too much damage, as Sterling's made up a position already. Oh, there's a bit of contact. I think that was all pretty clean for the most part. Oh, we got a Renault and a Mercedes come together slightly, but no damage done. And I think everyone's got away pretty nicely. So well done to everyone off the line. I think it was just the Williams. I'm not sure if it was JFD or Hypertoast. We'll have to check on that in a second. We'll get the leaderboard back up. It was in fact JFD who was spun around at the start. Hopefully he doesn't have damage. And Streets has left. That is very poor timing because he is running currently in 12th position. So, but Perry the dog already has a 2-second lead over Hypertoaster in P2. Then we have Alpu. That's right, it's a pretty impressive lead already after only one lap. So Hyper Toaster and Alpu have swapped positions, but Alpu's right all over the back of Hyper Toaster, so he hasn't lost touch with him. I'd have to say the big winner off the start though is definitely Sterling West. He's up from 15th to 11th already, so up 4 positions, and obviously the big loser was JFD, who spun from 8th position all the way to the back of the grid, back of the field, rather. As we see now, a move by Alpu on Hypertoast, so it takes a very tight line through the hairpin, and has he got it done? They're going to go side by side through this fast right-hander. Hypertoast has to run wide, but he'll have the inside for the next section, and he keeps hold of position. Oh no, Alpu's made it come back. Oh, they're side by side going through. Oh, and they're still side by side. Yeah, Alpu has to yield that, and Hypertoaster hangs on to P2 for now. But this is a good little battle already developing. Meanwhile, Perry the dog is already nearly 4.5 seconds up the road. So these guys battling has allowed Perry to extend his advantage further. And we have a yellow flag. Not quite sure who that was for. Sector 3. No, it was for Vesselini. He's off the track. And he's now in last position. So JFD is back up a position. Oh, and he's spun again. I think his tyres might be overheating slightly, so we'll let him sort out those issues. Oh, and Alva's all over the back of Hypetoast. Is he going to have another look down into the hairpin? Oh, but Hypetoaster runs deep. I think that's going to allow... Yeah, that allows Alpu to take second place. Hypetoaster ran far too deep into the hairpin. Outbraked himself in the wet conditions. Easy to do, of course. Especially when you're racing wheel to wheel. You can see now riding on board how treacherous the conditions are here in Germany. It's kind of like the real life German Grand Prix in a way. Amazing. As we see Hypetoaster there pick up a penalty. I think that's the first we've seen. And of course we do know that Germany's absolutely treacherous for penalties. Mainly turn one on the entry and exit. You don't want to cut the corner too much or you pick up a warning. You don't want to run wide and you pick up a warning. So I think on this particular lap he picked up 2 warnings for both those in quick succession and got a penalty. So you do have to be a bit more careful. There is a yellow flag in Sector 2. There's actually a big train of cars all the way back to Sterling, and then we've got I'm from Paris, Chucky, and our new driver, Gaming King, Yabio, and the Streets has not rejoined the session, unfortunately, so we've lost him. JFD does have some wing damage, so he must have got some damage in that first corner incident, and Vesselini a minute back already. So Perry the dog is actually coming up to lap Vesselini on lap 4. So not having a good day of it is the Toro Rosso man. That gap now up to 6.2 seconds. Hypetoast has dropped off the back of Alpu, so Alpu showing some decent pace as well. We'll keep an eye on that gap at the front. Mick showing some good pace as well, hanging in there in P4. Can he catch Hypetoaster? And then we got Foursquare, Canton, Sonel, Sterling, and then our first real big gap after the lead gap is I'm from Paris, who's 5.5 seconds back from Sonel now. Sterling makes a move on Sonel. Something happened to Sonel. No, I think Sterling just got the move done. Looks like Sonel's okay. And Yabio also making a move here on our new driver, Gaming King. Or was that the other way around? I'm not sure. As Yabio locks up a little bit. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. I think that's all fair enough. But they are set side by side. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. We'll stay on board with this battle right now. Oh, it looks like there was an incident up ahead of these guys. Not quite sure what happened. Oh, and Vesselini's off the track as well. Oh, he's just letting everyone pass. So that was what the yellow flag was for. We'll go back with Yabio chasing down Gaming King. It's good. We got some good little battles all over the track at the moment. 7 seconds is now the lead from Perry's lead from Alpu. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just trying to see where the next battle is. Yabio's just fallen off the back of Gaming King ever so slightly. I think our closest battle might be this one here between I'm from Paris and Chucky. As Chucky looks down the inside at the hairpin, I think he may have cut the corner slightly, or he might have got away with it. I'm not sure. No penalty for him for that anyway, but he is all over the back of the McLaren. This battle is for 9th and 10th position. We also have Sterling all over the back of Canton, who is, in turn is on the back of Foursquare. So maybe this is the one to follow for now. As as Foursquare gets a bit sideways ahead of him, is there going to be and a little bit of contact there, spins Canton onto the grass. He won't be happy about that. Oh, and he comes back onto the track right in front of I'm from Paris, and he's heated up his tyres here. So hopefully he can get back on the track. Oh, and he's actually rage quit there, unfortunately. So maybe just needs to keep his head a little bit. There's a long way to go in this race. Only 7 laps into a 34-lap race, so that's not great to see. Hopefully maybe he can get back in the session. He didn't retire. And Perry the dog, nearly 8 seconds. And Hype Toast has made a comeback on Opu, and he goes down the inside on Alpu. And they're side by side now. It's a good little battle for P2. It's been rumbling on ever since the start of the race. So maybe Alpu made a mistake, because I thought he was pretty comfortable in that P2 after getting the move done earlier in the race. Maybe a little mistake allowed Hype Toast to close back in, but he hangs on to it for now. Sterling. Oh, it's Foursquare and Sterling. I think they were side by side through the fast right-hander as well, so I'm not sure what happened there, but Foursquare's off the track. Hopefully he rejoins in and he's got a 10-second time penalty. That's extremely harsh from Codemasters. I think he'll be looking to get that one erased by the steward. So, Foursquare, if you're watching this back, mate, that's some high quality BS from Codemasters. So you should definitely submit that one to the stewards to get removed. But anyway, you're carrying on in P8 right behind I'm from Paris. So a bit of drama that last couple of laps. Yeah, well, he's up 10 positions now, running in P5. So, I'm not sure if he's got any. Oh, okay, so Hype Toast made a mistake, and Mick has moved up into P3. So, it must be, I think it's the corner 1, 2, I think it's turn 3 that is sometimes really slippery on exit, and it's the corner before the straight, so you really want to get a good exit there to carry as much speed you can down the straight. So if you screw that one up, if you get a bit sideways and you need to correct and have to slow down because of that, then you run down the straights compromised and you're going to lose a lot of time. So I think that's what's cost, at a guess, of course, that's what probably cost Hyper Toaster there. So that if there's one corner on the track that you want to get right in the wet, it's definitely that one. Sterling sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:27.5. So bonus point for fastest lap, of course. And there's no let up in the weather yet. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I wonder who that might be. Oh, it's Vestalani again. He's off. Such a shame that Canton left. Still plenty of time left in the race to make a comeback, but Perry the dog now with a 10.3 second lead, looking very comfortable. Another yellow flag there, and it's Vestalani yet again. I think he's trying to make it into the pits. I'm not quite sure. He has spun, so where's some action now? I think Foursquare might be right on the back of On from Paris. So this little battle is hotting up. as we get the excellent helicopter shot there through the Mercedes grandstand section. Vesselini is into the pits. JFD's made his way back up to 12th position, even with that wing damage, so impressive for him. Everyone behind him has either left the session or he's a lap down though, so still a long way to go for him. And Sterling looks like he's closing up on Hypertoaster. We won't just go there right. We might join that battle now. And here's that corner I was talking about, turn 3. Definitely need to get a good exit there to get down the straight as quick as possible. And JFD's in the pits now. That'll be to fix the front wing damage he sustained on the first lap. And maybe a new set of boots as well. I don't think it's drying up. You can see the rain still falling quite heavily. So it should be another set of wet tyres going on the Williams. Oh, and there's no front wing change. Is that a glitch in the game? Oh, and Vesselini, he's crashed out again. So you can see there the damage on the Williams. He'll be livid that his pit crew haven't fixed that damage. That's such a shame for JFD. He's one of our championship contenders, and he finds himself again robbed by Codemasters. That's a feeling I know all too well. That happened to me last week in a race, and I think it happened to you last night, didn't it, Amazing Hour? So is this... Yeah. Yeah, well, my wing was orange, and I definitely wanted to change it, and I set the setting to yes to change the wing damage, and I didn't get a wing change, so it was pretty devastating, I must say. But I think that's a newer glitch, because in the earlier rounds of the series, or playing the game, I never really encountered that, and I never heard of anyone else encountering it. But I think since the last update, I think it's been occurring more frequently. It's this is the third time now in the space of a week I've seen it happen. So when it's occurring that much, that's a bit of a problem. Exactly right. Sterling West all over the back of Hypertoaster. So Hypertoaster, who was running in P2, now running in P4, he's kind of sticking with this group though. So we have a little train going with Alpu leading the train. Then we have Mick and the Mercedes, Hypertoaster and Sterling closing up quite a bit on the Williams driver. Then we have a huge gap, 12.5 seconds back to P6, which is Sonal. So the field's starting to spread now a little bit, but hopefully this four-way battle for P2 continues all the way through the race. That'd be fantastic. Oh, it's Hypertoaster runs deep again into the hairpin. It's cost him yet again. So, he's kind of got his wheel alongside, but I think he'll have to give that position up. It's a bit of a mistake there. Another mistake from Hypertoaster. It's the same one that cost him the position, or the P2 position to Alpu. So that's Sterling up at another position. Hypertoaster want to hang on to the back of this group as Yabio picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Not even multiple warnings for that one. Haven't seen too many penalties yet, which is good to see. Maybe apart from that 10-second one from Foursquare, I think there's only 2 other penalties so far, so that's pretty good. Yeah. It's quite a big lead. We'll see. Oh, as Mick runs quite deep into turn 2. That's going to compromise his run into turn 3 and down the straight as well. But he looks like he's got away with it. Oh, Sterling has a bit of a moment. He'll need to get back in that slipstream. Where's Hypertoaster? Hypertoaster's a little way back as we have a yellow flag in sector 1. It's Foursquare. Oh, as Gaming King picks up a 3-second time penalty, but Foursquare's spun at turn 1. Is there damage to the Red Bull? I think there might be some damage on the right-hand side of his front wing. We'll check at this corner here. Yeah, it looks like there's no end plate there. So if I had to guess, he's maybe got a bit sideways and run into the barrier on the inside of the track on the right-hand side of turn 1. So a bit of bad luck for Foursquare. He's still running in P11, but he'll need to pit to get that damage fixed. Let's hope his pit crew actually fixed the damage. Meanwhile, his teammate, 14.5 seconds out in front, as Mick and Sterling now battle it out for P3. So Sterling probably looking the quickest of these 4 drivers battling for P2 at the moment. Alpu's managed to build himself a little bit of a gap back to Mick, 1.5 seconds, but I'd wager that once Sterling gets past Mick, if he can get past him, he has a look down the inside in turn 2. Oh, we're right on board with Sterling. Hype Toaster as well. We'll watch this with interest from P5. He just does. Oh, and looks like Hype Toaster had a bit of look as well, but Mick's actually got the better drive and takes P3 back. So Mick with the better exit out of the hairpin and retakes the position. Good racing all round by all 3 of these guys. Oh, as Sterling has to correct a bit of oversteer there. So easy to do in these wet conditions. The rain not letting up at all. It's absolutely bucketing down in Germany. The virtual Germany, of course. Oh, Sterling's diving into the pit, so he's going for the undercut on these guys. Whoop. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as Foursquare's out of the race. He has DNF. Has he crashed out? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as Foursquare's out of the race. Oh, okay. Hey, I think we've got a bit of a technical issue, Amazing Hour. I don't think your audio is coming up on the broadcast, unfortunately. So, there's actually a setting in the party chat you need to go and tick to be able to share your audio in broadcast. Do you know how to turn that on? Yeah. So hopefully we can turn that on and it'll start working. But yeah, so far we haven't been having you on the broadcast, unfortunately. So it's something we'll take care of now and we'll know for next time to double check. Okay, I'll just double check. Okay, I'll just double check. It's a virtual safety car, and Sterling has got a penalty. So Sterling West, speeding under the virtual safety car, picked up a penalty. Yeah. We're still not getting your audio, mate, so I don't know what's going on. You definitely turn that setting on.
Yeah. We're still not getting your audio, mate.
So yeah, you need to go into party settings and then share audio. Oh, as we got a pass here, Mick has made it past. Oh, Sonal's had a bit of an incident there. He's lost a couple of positions. And Sonal's actually in the pits now, so a couple of guys pitting. Sterling West is in the pits as well, as Mick picks up a 3-second time penalty. So Sonal comes out of the pits. I think he had a wing change. So he comes out in 9th. JFD's made his way back into 10th position, so not a bad recovery so far from him. How you going there, Amazing? You working it out?
Yeah, I think I found something, so I don't know. Hopefully that might work.
Yeah, you're on the stream now. Perfect. All right, so we're back.
Sweet.
Apologies to our viewers of the stream that we didn't pick that up a bit earlier, but I wasn't talking to myself. I'm not that crazy. I was talking to Amazing Al in party chat, but yeah, the settings just weren't right for him, so he wasn't. You weren't picking up his audio, unfortunately, but he is with us now, so he can share his thoughts and actually be heard this time. So that's good to know. Yeah, sorry about that, mate.
No worries, man. We've sorted it all out now, so now we can enjoy the last 15, 16 laps of this race and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly right. So Perry the dog still with that massive lead, 15 seconds now. He mustn't be pushing too hard because he hasn't extended it all that much. Alpu kind of on his own now in P2. Hype Toast has dropped back not 9 seconds. Those two were battling earlier in the race, but that's quite a big lead now. So Mick and Sterling both behind those guys. So kind of just catching our breath after a little break, working out that issue and working out the state of play in the race. Maybe the closest battle on track is this one though, with Sonal and I'm from Paris, and Chucky as well in P9. So these guys are battling for 7th, 8th, and 9th in a little train here. So, and I'm from Paris is actually only second back from Gaming King. So we've got a 4, nearly 5 car train here, which is good to see. I think our loneliest driver at the moment is definitely our race leader, Perry. Absolutely killing it out in front of the pack here.
Yeah, he's just absolutely bolted. I was a little bit. I was anticipating this in a way. He has made a few mistakes before, but he's definitely minimised them so far. Still a long way to go though, but so far so good. So hopefully he can keep it going, keep it pointing in the right direction, and certainly a dominant drive from the Red Bull driver so far.
Yeah, as we're looking at I'm from Paris, he's made the move actually on Gaming King. Gaming King seemed to just give him the position in turn 1, so it's not really an overtaking spot usually, but I'm from Paris getting it done. So good pass from him. Sonal now will be looking to try and make up a position here on Gaming King as well. He gets a better exit than the Mercedes. And is he going to look? He's going to look on the inside. So Gaming King, that's that corner exit I was talking about. So crucial to get a good exit in turn 3. And he loses that position. So he's dropped. Oh, he might. Oh, actually nailed that corner.
Back up the inside, side by side on the exit.
Side by
Who's going to
side.
get the best drive?
Sonal again with the better exit, but yeah, he lost 2 positions on this lap already. Chucky as well. Oh, he goes for a little
Dive
lunge.
up the inside.
Oh, and
Pushes him a little bit wide.
Sonal has to take evasive action. I'm not sure if that was intentional, and he's struggling a bit there, Gaming King. But yeah, he's cost Sonal in position there.
Been a bit of a redress.
Yeah, possibly. He's really struggling there though, Gaming King. I wonder if has he pitted yet. I'm gonna have a look. That's yeah, he's the only one in the whole field that hasn't pitted yet, so he must be really struggling on old tyres. So let's see. I think he'll be diving into the pits this lap. Oh no, he keeps going. So not ready to pit yet, but he has lost 3 positions in that last lap. So really struggling on that old rubber. Sonal picks up a 3-second time penalty. Sterling has caught Mick Morkett as they just exited the hairpin. They're coming into the Sector 2 grandstand, the Mercedes section. There's even JFD up past Gaming King now, so JFD making short work of that pass as well. So Gaming King probably needs to get into the pits pretty soon, or is he going to try and take those wet tyres all the way to the finish and not pit? That would be interesting, but he is in P10 now, so I'm not sure what he'll gain by doing that. If he was running higher up the order maybe, but yeah, not really worth trying at that point. Sterling, we might keep an eye on this battle for now. He's only 2 tenths back from Mick. The Ferrari has threatened to get in the top 3 all race, but he hasn't been able to do it thus far. Strong drives from Hypertoaster and Mick, you'd have to say, to keep Sterling behind so far. Lead at the front of the field. Perry the dog now, 18.5 seconds. As Yabio passes Gaming King, who finally pits for his pit stop. So doesn't look like this weather is gonna let up at all. Like it's just relentless rain as we get this beautiful helicopter shot with Sterling chasing down Mick. Hypertoaster not too far up the road. Yep.
It does seem like the Ferrari's got a bit more pace, but again, it's just the same old problem. Is it's so difficult to overtake. It's hard enough in the dry, and when you add rain into it, obviously the visibility is a big problem. You can't really see where you're going, so you've really got to go for the dive in a way. But obviously you've got to try and time it well. You don't want to run into the guy or force him off track, or something stupid that could take you both out.
Yeah, exactly. So Sterling.
Let's see how he goes this time.
Looks like
Good
Mick.
drive. This might be it down into the hairpin.
He's catching.
In the slipstream, does he go for the dive again? Slots him behind. No,
I think he's
sticks in.
Yeah, I think he was probably just a little bit too far back for a lunge then. But yeah, this is an epic battle between Mick and Sterling. And the Streets car is going to be ghosting through this corner. I think Mick maybe hesitated there, wasn't sure if it was going to ghost or not, but it was ghosted. Epic battle here. We'll see if Sterling can get up onto the podium. Oh, as Chucky has passed. Oh, I'm from Paris has had issues. He's lost out. He's gone from 6th to 9th, so he's been passed by Chucky, Sonal and JFD. No damage there though, so looks like he's just had a little spin. but he has lost 3 positions. Another yellow flag, sector 3. Not sure who that was. I think it was Vesselini. We'll go back to his battle here, see if Sterling can get any closer on the straight.
Then overtake, I reckon he might go for the dive. He's gaining on him a little bit with the toe.
He's definitely closer this lap.
And then left him. Will he go for the dive? Up the inside of the Mercedes.
Oh,
Brakes really late. He runs wide.
Yeah, Mick went a bit deep there, but he's got a great exit, and that's and Sterling got all kinds of sideways on the exit, so that was pretty easy for Mick to defend. As Gaming King sets the fastest lap of the race on intermediate tyres. Oh, okay. So
could this track be getting dry?
Could it be drying up now? So he's the only runner on intermediate tyres at this stage of the race, but it does look like it's still bucketing down. So not quite sure what to make of that. There's 10 laps left to go, so you'd have to think if it was drying out enough for intermediates that other drivers would be thinking about pitting as well, and Alpu actually is. He's in the pits. So he's another one. He's going on to intermediate tyres. So is the track going to be drying? Yeah.
That's 2 drivers in now for intermediate. So it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the front runners do here, whether they respond or whether they just decide to stay out and keep going. There is only 10 laps left, but
yeah, exactly. And that is a calculated move by Alpu, because he was running P2 and he's now come out in P5, so he's lost positions to Hypertoast, to Mick and Sterling. So he must have thought it was worth changing onto intermediate tyres to give up that P2. So maybe he got a call from the pit wall to do that. We'll see how it works out for him. I'm interested to see if any other drivers come into the pits, but it still looks like it's raining a lot to me. So it doesn't look like the guys on wet tyres are struggling too much for grip either. So I mean, it's still treacherous, but not any more treacherous than it was before, especially in this stadium section. Looks like the rain's still pelting down.
It doesn't look like it's drying out though, so this is a little bit confusing. The pace on the Inters seems to be pretty decent, but it still looks like it's absolutely bucketing down, just like it's been from lap 1. So interesting to see if anyone else takes a little bit of a gamble. No one seems to so far.
No one else. So his top just runs wide! Oh, he's nearly collected Mick behind him. And that was a very hairy moment from Hypertoaster. It looks like he's got away with it. There's no damage, so he's actually done pretty well to keep it out of the barrier there. So kudos to him. But boy, that was a very scary moment for our leaders. Could have been race ending. So yeah, exactly right.
Thankfully, they will get through. Sterling now moves up into second.
So Sterling left.
Man, what a save that was. He was all out of shape, but he hang on to it.
He did all right. Oh, and we got a battle here between and Yabio. Oh, Yabio, he's parked it on the exit of turn 1. I think there was a bit of an incident with him from Paris, possibly. So I'm not sure what happened there. We just missed that as Alpu picks up a 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial at the checkered flag, because there hasn't been too many penalties this race. But Alpu is all over the back of Hypertoaster after that incident, so we'll really see which tyres get faster now. Alpu on those 1 lap old Inters, is he going to have the pace and grip advantage over Alpu? He sets the fastest lap of the race, so you'd have to say yes, he does have an advantage.
Looks like it down into the 125s, so definitely looks like the Inters might be the faster tyre. Was
it worth the extra pit stop though? That will be the key moment, because Alpu had to give up P2 to pit, so he'd want to try and get back into P2 at least to make that worthwhile. Otherwise,
he's got about 5 seconds to Sterling, and he's got about 8 laps to make it up. So bit of a tall order, but we'll see if he can do it. Looks to the inside of the Williams. Can he get the drive? Not this time around.
JFD's in the pits too, so I wonder if he's going to go take the gamble as well and go into Inters. Looks like he is. So intermediates for the Williams. And a new wing as well. So that's our third driver on the intermediate tyres. The Sterling one runs a bit wide there, a bit lucky. But Alpu, can he get the move done? Well, he looks like he's got the pace, and he's going to have a look down the outside.
That was very, very optimistic.
Yeah. So that's maybe what Alpu didn't take into account. Even though he might be faster on the intermediate tyres, he's still got to get past all these drivers. And at the moment, he looks like he's well and truly being held up here by Hypertoaster. So you want to try and get past him as soon as possible. He has a look down in turn 1, shows his nose, thinks better of it. Not really a passing spot there. And he has a better run down into turn 2. He has the inside. They go side by side. Is there a little bit of contact? No, but he'll have a better run through turn 3 and onto the straight.
Try and get the switch back on the gas.
And it's all about ERS deployment now. Oh, he slips. He drops back into the slipstream on Hypertoaster. Is he going to make a lunge? Oh, Hypertoaster runs a bit deep, leaves him room. Close. That's good racing from both these guys. Hypertoaster still gets a great exit though.
In the traction on the inside on that side of the line just isn't good enough. Will he look to the inside? Yes, he does. Up the inside.
Oh, a little bit of contact, but I think that's all fair enough. I don't think there was any damage there from a Hypertoaster, so that's move done by Alpu. Up into P4 now. 3-second gap to catch Mick, so we'll see how quickly he eats into that gap. Meanwhile, Perry the dog, look at that gap at the lead, at the front. 31.2 seconds. That is a free pit stop, ladies and gentlemen. So if he wanted to pit onto intermediate tyres, he would come out still in first place and probably be able to set the fastest lap as well. So I wonder if he's thinking about doing that or whether he's going to play it safe and stay out. But Alpu already cut that 3-second gap down to 1.4 seconds in about half a lap. So you got to think that those intermediate tyres are a hell of a lot quicker at this point of the race. Oh, he has a bit of a moment on exit.
He runs wide.
But still holds that lead and is catching rapidly. So Mick might be in a bit of trouble here for P3. Currently on the podium. It would be Mick's first podium. It would be both these guys' first podium. Alpu on debut, no less. So we'll see what happens here. This is really our closest battle on track at the moment. Everyone else is still pretty spread out. As JFD sets the fastest lap on those fresh inters, and other drivers got to be looking at that now and going, oh, maybe I made the wrong choice. But with 5 laps left, I don't think it's worth another pit stop at this point. You probably just got to ride it out on the wets.
No, if you were going to come in for inters, I think you needed to do it earlier. If you do it now, I don't think you'll be able to make the time back up. So
yeah, exactly.
Better off just to stick it out to the end now. There is basically only 4.5, 5 laps left.
As Alpu looks down the inside into turn 2 on Mick. Oh, Mick runs wide, but I think he was giving him a lot of space there, which is fair enough. And they're still side by side running to turn 3. And Alpu gets the move done before the straight even. So can Mick make a comeback here? Looks like he's got better straight line speed than the Toro Rosso. The Toro Rosso has the fresher and quicker tyres at this stage of the race. Still side by side. Mick giving a good go to hang on that position. He's not going to let up a podium spot easily, but I think he has to yield there, and Alpu takes P3.
The big question now is, can he hunt down Sterling? He's got about 2.5 seconds to find, and if his pace in the last couple of laps is any indication, he should definitely get there.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see that he's gapped Mick by 1.6 seconds already, so incredible pace. And as this track maybe keeps drying out, the inters will probably get faster and faster. You can see Alpu is already nearly on the back of Sterling. That's how much faster he is. So the inters are really quick. Looks like a pretty quick driver, Alpu, as well. So it's good to have another fast guy in the series. It's really spiced things up. So it's good to see. But now he's got it under a second already. Just
already
half a
on the back
second.
of Sterling. The gap's only half a second. Already, that margin just disappeared.
Yeah, the Inters are so much faster than the Wets at this point of the race, and there's still 4 laps to go. So I don't think he's going to be able to make up 32 seconds if he gets past Sterling to take the lead. But it's looking pretty likely he'll get his P2 back.
I think this is just going to be a matter of time now. On Sterling, he'll just try and size this up, maybe down into the hairpin, it'd probably be my guess. And
as JFD's making moves, as Sonal's into the pits, he has taken the gamble late in the race with only 4 laps left to go on the Inters. So JFD has passed him and Gaming King, so he's given up a couple of spots to pit. Maybe going for the fastest lap, but we'll have to see. As we'll stay with this battle here with Alpu and Sterling West versus P2. Alpu was trying to have a look down the inside. I think Sterling was defending quite hard though. And look at this line, nice and tight through turn 2 and around the outside in turn 3. And they're side by side down the straight. It's going to be a matter of horsepower and ERS. And actually, Alpu's had to drop back into the slipstream, and Sterling's defending all over the track. Can he get the switchback done? Oh, look at that for a move. How about that? Sterling, nothing he could do about that. Alpu just had so much more grip, and he gets the move done on the switchback of the hairpin. Great racing from both drivers. Fantastic action here in the PS4 America Series. JFD sets another fastest lap, so he improves on his time.
And the lead is in.
Perry, with that massive lead, 32 seconds, has seen that the Inters is faster, and he's going on to intermediate tyre. Maybe he's trying to pick up 26 points instead of 25. We'll see how he goes. We'll see what his lead is, actually. It should be, should still be quite big. 15 seconds, 14. Yeah, it looks like about 14 seconds, so yeah, still a very decent sized lead for Perry the Dog. And Alpu is absolutely streaked away from Sterling. He's already 3.2 seconds up the road after passing him on the last lap, so that just shows you how much quicker the intermediates are. And we got a little battle here with Gaming King and Chucky. Gaming King on 10 lap old Inters, he was actually the first one to make the move onto the intermediate tyre, and boy has it paid off for him. He's moved right up the order. He's now fighting for P6 on Chucky. He's going to have a look down the inside into turn 2. Looks like he might get it done. Pretty fair from both guys there. Chucky holds inside in turn 3, but Gaming King with that tyre advantage, you'd have to fancy he's going to get this move done up at the hairpin.
Going to be a bit tricky around the outside of 2. He's going to break latest, and it looks like he should get this done, and he does.
Chucky's tucked in. He's accepted that he won't be able to fight that for too long, so he's basically given that position up as Alpu puts in the fastest lap of the race. So the track is really drying up here, and it looks like the intermediates are much faster at this stage of the race than the wets. So Gaming King, well done on that move up into P6. I wonder if Perry the Dog is going to go for a fastest lap on the last lap here. Or maybe even potentially on this lap. He'll have 2 goes at setting the fastest lap, won't he? think so. This lap and next lap. It's a yellow flag,
He's in
sector
overtake
3.
at the moment, so it does definitely look like he'll be trying to get a purple lap time.
As it comes into the stadium section. All neat and tidy. There's yellow flags in sector 3 as well. Not sure who that was. Maybe some of the wet runners now starting to struggle on those wet tyres. Although you can see there, it's still raining quite heavily. So is this going to be a purple lap? It is. Perry the dog
Yes,
into the 123s. So 123.4 absolutely blitzes the fastest lap. So he will pick up the bonus point and probably go for another fast lap here on the final lap. We'll see how he goes. But I think that's just about it for battling at the moment. We've got the 2 ghost cars battling it out for P12 and 13, but both those guys are disconnected, so will not finish the race, unfortunately. And that is kind of it for the on-track battles in this race. So it looks like penalties, if there's going to be a change of position, it's not going to be on the track, it's going to be after penalties at the finish line, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. As we follow Perry, it's been an absolutely dominant race from the Red Bull driver. Pole position, he's led from start to finish. Absolutely dominated this race. It might have been a bit lonely for him, but I'm sure he won't mind picking up a win and the fastest lap at this point as well. So absolutely max points. I think that's what you call the clean sweep. Pole position, the win, and fastest lap. Perry the dog wins the German Grand Prix by a margin of 16 seconds. Amazing performance. Well done to him. Alpu now is our second place driver. He'll come home in P2. 19 seconds up the road after penalties. And then we have Sterling coming home next. He will take the final podium position. Great drive from the Ferrari man from the back of the grid. Mick comes home in P4. Great drive from the Mercedes as well. Hype Toaster in P5. All those 4 put on a great show all race with their battling for the podium position. So fantastic from you guys. Then we have the driver that gambled it all by going on the intermediate tyres, and it paid off for him. Our new driver, Gaming King, he'll come home in P6. Fantastic drive from him as well. No one's moved up or down on penalties yet. Chucky comes home in P7 on wet tyres. JFD and Sonal, they're going to battle it out on the last corner. This is for position for P8 and 9. Oh, and JFD gets there. I said there was no battling on track, but I was wrong. I think that might have only just developed in the last half a lap or so, but that is it. That's been the German Grand Prix. What an absolute cracker, amazing hour.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, if you had to go driver of the day, personally, I'd honestly give it to Perry. I mean, I've known him for a while, but he's never shown that kind of speed and that kind of dominance before. I don't know where that come from, but that was absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, well said. So what I usually try and do, mate, is I try and get the podium guys in for a podium interview. We'll do that in a minute. We'll just go over the race results first. So a bit of a long race, just over 50 minutes. So 50 minutes 9 seconds. It's quite a long race for a 50% race. Full wet will do that. So Perry the dog wins from Alpu on debut, finishes P2. Sterling from 15th on the grid, finishes on the podium. Fantastic drive from him. Then we have Mick, Hype Toaster, Gaming King, Chucky, JFD, Sonal, and I'm from Paris rounding out the top 10 that was score points. Then we have Yabio was our last finisher. Then we have the Streets and JP Canson who disconnected. Vesselani I think he finished six laps down, unfortunately, but he gave it a great go. And Foursquare was our only retiree crashing out, unfortunately for him. So I'm just going to quickly have a look and see if there was any. So Foursquare did have that 10-second time penalty. And Sterling actually had a drive-through penalty that he had to serve. Wow. And he still came P3. Amazing. So he had that. He picked up that drive-through penalty from speeding under virtual safety car, I believe. So could it have been P2 for him? Possibly. Anyway, we'll try and get these guys into the party chat for an interview. Bear with me for a second. Dun, 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 dun. Invite. Alright, so we've just sent an invite to the party chat to our podium place getters. Unfortunately, I don't think Perry the dog will be able to make it. His mic is broken, so we'll see if any of the other two join us, Sterling or Alpu. We'll just give them a second. Looks like he's left the lobby, so probably not going to join us, unfortunately. So we might wrap it up there. But that's been absolutely cracking race for round 11 of the PS4 America Series at Germany. Action all the way through in a wet race, always delivers. So thanks for joining us on the stream if you're watching, and thanks to my co-commentator Amazing Al for joining me. You did really well, mate, and sorry about the little audio glitch we had, but thanks for joining us. Alright, we'll see you next week for round 12 at Hungary.